State intervention. Gang violence is rife in the northern areas of the metro. The provincial government has committed itself to effect change in the area through a multi-disciplinary approach. The Premier of the Eastern Cape, Oscar Mabuyane, visited two schools that had been temporarily closed last week due to gang violence. Three pupils from Strelitzia Primary School in Bethelsdorp have lost their lives in recent years due to gang violence. Our reporter Jayed-Leigh Paulse spoke to the Eastern Cape Premier earlier today.
Well, it's been a very busy day for the Premier of the Eastern Cape, Oscar Mabuyane, as well as the Provincial Commissioner for the Police here, going to schools that have been heavily affected with gangsterism here in the northern areas. The Premier walked with many of the community members and spoke to the principals who told their stories about how it is living in the northern areas of PE. But the Premier also said that he will definitely be clamping down on all gangsterism and will make sure that police are visible in the area. Now, I am joined by the Premier and will be asking him about the interventions that will take place here in Nelson Mandela Bay. Premier, you've obviously been engaging with communities as well as some of the principals. What was the first observation you made here in the metro?
Well, the very terrified community, having allowed this issue to really go on and on without being attended to properly. But now we're here, moving forward. We are actually drawing the line to make it a point that we are pulling all resources that we have together, national, provincial and the metro, to ensure that we deal with this matter, confront it, eradicate it, make it a point that thugs are not coexisting with our communities, ensure that our communities stay in a safer environment. So we are here to ensure that every facility that needs to be activated, it is activated. Cameras across the street, across all areas, lighting. There must be no globe that goes with days without being fixed on our streets. Police are here to do door to door, continue doing street by street, ensure that we really wipe out this problem in our communities. We're quite happy with the report that we have received. That shows a lot of progress. Police are doing a very good job, very commendable. Thanks to the Minister for his intervention, for coming in here, putting together this anti-drug, anti-gang unit that has been actually assembled here. I think it is doing a great job for us moving forward. We'll be able to confront it. Yes, we know now it is actually has shifted to also Motherwell areas, etc., in different forms, whether it is in form of SMME, we are fighting against each other. Any criminality that is actually showing its ugly head here, we are going to deal with it, uproot it. We are not going to allow it. It's not going to coexist with our people. We want to ensure prosperity here. We want to bring investors in Nelson Mandela in a safer environment. So we are working very hard with police, with the metro. Mayor is here to ensure that we change the lives of the people in this area. Fix schools here, build where you need to build schools that are not also safe for our kids, protect school, fence them. So we are doing everything that is supposed to be done to ensure that we give a clear direction and we are working together. This is another area, focus area for implementation to the 6th administration. It was even in the 5th administration, to ensure that we create a conducive environment for our people to prosper.
Now, as I'm listening to you, obviously it's a multidisciplinary approach that you're talking about, but I was also listening to the way you were talking to the communities, actually engaging them and saying, you know, come out and speak to the relevant policing precincts in the area and out those who you know are gangsters.
Of course, there's this element of trust deficit that we have, the reputational damage to a certain extent, where they believe that within our bag there are certain rotten potatoes that we needed to deal with. So we are looking at that as well, but we are saying police are here to protect them. They must also stand up to protect police. So if we do that quite collaboratively in a very reciprocal way, we'll be able to be effective on the ground, because this is a societal matter. You need to mobilize communities, you need to mobilize society, civil organization as well, to stand up and say no, and we say no together. We are going to roll out a very ongoing program on awareness for our young people. Young people are used. We have been told that even as young as 7 years old, you see a young person carrying a school bag only to realize inside that school bag there's a gun, because these gangsters are using them. As young as 12, they are taught how to kill. So we can't allow that thing. We want a brighter future for these young people. We can't afford to lose another life. We have lost 3 young lives already in this school. So it can't continue again. We must stop it.
And then lastly, Premier, if the situation is not contained here, do we also see, the army also being dispatched here in the northern areas like we see in the Western Cape?
That army is a resource of South Africa to ensure that the country is a country that is a country governed by law. Where there is a need of intervention, the intervention will always be welcome. But at this point in time, we're quite happy with the work that is being done by police. Police are doing a great job. A lot of progress is made. We believe that the challenges that are here are surmountable. They are really within the competence of police. But at a particular point, if it continues, probably a few months down the line, we will not say no to that, definitely if things are not stopping. But for now, we believe that this issue is still within the containment measures.
Thank you very much, Premier. Well, I was the Premier of the Eastern Cape, Oscar Mabuyane, just saying that, they are going to clamp down on the ongoing gang violence here in the northern areas, but also engaging with communities to speak out and to speak to the police, not to remain in silence. And if they know of anyone who is committing these crimes in their respective communities, to go to the nearest police station and to out them. But also saying that at the moment, the situation is contained here in the northern areas of Port Elizabeth and the army is not needed. And with that, it's back to you.